Hey, what's going on, everybody? Oh, man, it's going to be an absolutely insane day for earnings. I hope you're ready for it. Welcome to the Power Zone. My name is Brad. Is it Wednesday? I keep getting my days mixed up. It is Wednesday, February 7th. I hope all of you guys are doing well. What's up, Kevin Hawthorne, Michael, Shane Haley? What's up, my man? Eldon Rudy, Mike Hudson. I hope you guys are doing well too. And yeah, I mean, look, it is a great day for earnings. Great day for earnings. So if you guys aren't sure what exactly or who exactly is reporting today, obviously you can see from the title that Disney and PayPal are reporting. We also got Wynn Resorts, Paycom Mattel, McKesson's also on the docket there too. If you guys are interested in those, I'd be happy to cover them as well. But what an absolutely crazy day yesterday too. If you guys didn't tune in to yesterday's stream, it was nuts. Snap shit the bed big time. And it is still down quite a bit. It's down 35% on the day. Let's take a look at that chart as we await some of the earnings for this afternoon, because it's starting to look like this is a stark overreaction. Now, look, I'm not saying that I even like Snap or anything, but if you're looking for a nice quick trade and there isn't a whole lot of risk versus reward attached to it, this, I think, is a low risk type of trade, at least at this point, just because it's come down so much. We're looking at the short term. Again, this is a 4 hour. If you guys are following along, this looks like a pretty decent setup. It's down 35%. Coming up here at the top of this zone, looks as if it's finally chilling the hell out. Again, I'm not going to guarantee anything. Nothing's a guarantee in the stock market, of course, but we always talk about risk versus reward. And I think the risk versus reward here is good if you're planning on making some sort of short term trade on something like Snap. Looks like a pretty decent opportunity. A couple other ones that we reacted to yesterday. Fortinet, obviously, one of them. And having a relatively decent day, hanging around in that zone as well. Again, we're still just chilling out here on the 4 hour chart. That was great. It was a great move. Had a pretty decent day yesterday off of earnings, and I'm still feel good about this one on the long run. I really like Fortinet in the long term, but obviously it's super expensive, so I kind of hesitate to just go too crazy on it. But so far, so good on Fortinet. And if you guys didn't catch the big one yesterday, at least in my mind, it was actually Ford. Ford had a decent day. And then after hours came, it was up like 4%. And after hours came, and then went up another, I think, about 7-8%. Still holding its gains pretty well. It's up 6.25. Ford came in and actually crushed earnings. They did really well. I was super pumped about what I saw from them, and I think there's a lot to like here. If you guys didn't catch the news on Ford and what they reported, we could go and watch yesterday's stream, but I'll give it to you here. They came in at 29 cents, which was nearly double what the expectation was. And they also came in with revenue that was actually pretty solid. They anticipated full year guidance to come up above what expectations were. A lot of good things to see from Ford. And the best part about this is that it is super cheap. It is trading around 6 times next year's earnings. Love it. Looking really good. So really pumped for Ford. Anybody who owns Ford, I like this one as well. Um, so let's see here. Got a couple of folks just kind of reacting. Has the How has the House of Mouse done since losing on the patent on Mickey? We will react to that too. Um, Eldon Rudy says tried to buy the dip today, got stopped out. Jay Santos, I guess you're referring to Snap, says I got $1,000 in calls for PayPal. Strike is 65. Could I check ARM when earnings come out? Yeah, for sure. We can definitely look at that as well. I wasn't sure if anybody was actually interested in ARM or not. But yeah, they have earnings today too. And while we're talking about it, we can go ahead and pull those up. ARM has earnings this afternoon. Stock's already shot up quite a bit. Let's go to the 5-minute chart just so we can get some real time reaction on this, especially as we get into the close. But ARM is up 6.33. Look at that. I mean, a huge run going into the end of the day. Expectations on earnings here are 25 cents, 762, we'll call it $763 million in revenue, and the street's pretty split. 10 upward revisions to 8 down. This is a super expensive stock as well. It is trading at 70 times next year's earnings. A lot of short interest on this though too, so there could be, the short interest is at 11.5%. So that's quite a bit in my opinion. A lot of short sellers in this, could be because of how highly the valuation here is at $74 billion in revenue. And I just got done telling you that the expectation for this quarter is 763 million. So really expensive stock. The growth here, though, doesn't really kind of justify this. So I'm a little bit hesitant on ARM, but we'll see what their earnings have to say. Just looking through some of the previews on expectations to see if there's anything else I can find. Over the last 3 months, earnings per share estimates have seen one upper revision, so nothing too crazy there either. So yeah, we'll just continue to watch ARM and see where it goes. If you guys aren't familiar with ARM, they are a holdings company, architects, develops, and licenses central processing unit products and related technologies. If you guys recall, I believe this was the one. Yeah, it was the company that was going to be merging with NVIDIA. So, and then that fell through. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the same one. So, anyways, we are gonna watch ARM and their earnings. And then we, of course, have PayPal. PayPal is going to be the big one. It's probably why most of you are here today. Not having a great day today. Currently, it's down around 1%. Obviously, not a huge deal. But we look at the weekly chart, and we obviously know what the story is with PayPal. It's come down. I believe the bottom is finally in. It was just absolutely insane to see how far this had come down. Absolutely insane. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe how far this had really just crashed and burned since 22, and hasn't really had much of a recovery up until recently. If you guys are wondering what the expectations are, earnings estimates are expected to come in at $1.36. That would be a 10% increase year on year. Revenue is expected to come in at $7.87 billion. That's 6.4% year on year increase. PayPal has been facing challenges such as competition from Apple Pay and buy now, pay later financing options, such as Affirm, who has earnings tomorrow, and we'll be reacting to those as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. Alex Chris, who's been working on revamping the firm, he was just appointed as a CEO last year, and he's unveiled new AI-driven features that are focused on jumpstarting user and merchant engagement to fuel growth in January, to revive growth in the fintech firm. We kind of know that, like, it's just weird. We're in this point, right? There's always something. And if you guys have been around as long as I have, we've gone through the weed craze, the crypto craze, obviously with COVID and whatnot. That was bananas. But you guys, there's always some sort of fad trend. I don't think that AI is going to be that, but it's just like all the other ones in which you start talking about artificial intelligence in your earnings call and the stock starts to go bananas. And that's kind of what we've seen. Could this be the same from something like PayPal? I'm not sure. We haven't really seen that reversal on the trend just yet, even though I do think that we've seen the bottom of PayPal. Again, $51 a share is where the bottom was at. It's trading around 62 right now. But if we look at the fundamentals here, 12 and a half times next year's earnings, well below the S&P 500. Market cap sitting at $68 billion. That seems reasonable to me. Growth is obviously good, especially with what we're seeing from that valuation. So I think this is more or less patience here with PayPal. Yeah, Savvy Money Show, it's a really great way to put it. PayPal is being valued as a value stock and not a growth or tech company, which is insane considering the growth there has been pretty steady. Shane Haley says, I have leaps and shares, have a feeling it's tanking, but I'll buy the dip if it does. And I think that that's the right way to go about it. I mean, depending on how far your leaps are out, right? But, you know, I just, as it won that just it's going to take some patience more than likely, but the growth is still there. They're still making money. The free cash flow is there. I don't understand why we hate PayPal so much, but usually when that happens, it means it's time to start buying. And that doesn't always mean right away, right? So that's obviously something that we're going to have to continue to pay attention to. But PayPal has just been through it. I think that they're going to be just fine. It's just like I said, one of those plays that's going to have to take a while for it to finally move in the right direction because there has been so much hate on this one. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, are you pumped about PayPal? Is that why you're watching today? Is that the one that uh, you're anticipating the most on? Just kind of want to get your guys' opinion on that and kind of see where we're at. And then finally, obviously, we have Disney. Disney has been the source of Elon Musk. I guess that Disney has been a target of his. You guys haven't seen what's been going on here, so this was just Elon just put this out 2 hours ago, talking about a replacement for Johnny Depp. Disney's reportedly considering Io is it Edibiri for a leading role in Pirate Six. He just put Disney sucks. Um, there's been a couple of other slanderous type tweets that Elon has put out, and there was one other one that he had put out on Disney not too long ago. I'll find it, but yeah, he's been shitting on Disney for a while now, and we all know that that he's been um, that it kind of all stemmed from when Bob Iger pulled his advertisements off of Twitter or X, I should say, and ever since then, ever since the whole fuck off or fuck you comments at at that conference, it's been he's had it out for Disney. But nevertheless, Disney's still doing Disney things. They're doing well. I have no issues with the way the company's being run from a performance standpoint, from a business standpoint. They're doing well. $99.25 is where it's trading at. The growth is still there. They're growing at 7.5% year on year, and for Disney, that's actually quite good. Profitability, as we all know, is very good at 33.5% gross profit margin. EBIT margin is also at 10.5%. There's still Disney is not one of those stocks that I would say, hey, just go buy it and you're going to make a shit ton of money. It's one of those things where I would say, look, it's going to be a stock that you just buy and it just continues to do well as long as you have a longer term outlook on it. But I'm looking at this as a potential pretty solid move to the upside. Go back to the weekly chart and we can kind of see what it's been doing. Kind of really ever since Elon's been shitting on it, it's been doing pretty well. This isn't me making fun of Elon either. And I mean, is it a coincidence? I don't know. You be the judge, but Disney's still doing pretty well. Still seems like it's a bullish move for this one, in my opinion. Um, Sky, we did talk about PayPal at length, so just go back and check a look at that one. We're already we are going to be reacting to PayPal and Disney and ARM, a bunch of other ones. But we can go ahead and take a look at PayPal to see if there's any sort of movement on there. It doesn't seem to be much just yet. It is up around 1%. I'm going to pull up the 5-minute chart so we can get some real time action on that so we can react to this. But nothing so far. Could be something here. Well, let me see. Doesn't look like there's too much volume on that just yet. We'll keep an eye on that. Check it in with you guys. I will absolutely cover McKesson today. I didn't know if anybody was interested, but you know what? Rahazi, I will cover that. Dimitri says, my fear is that Wall Street wants to screw PayPal because of lots of retail investors are in. I don't think so. That's usually not how that works, but I appreciate the comment. We got one that's with PayPal and Disney, been buying both of them like crazy, all along with Mercado Libre. Mercado Libre just continues to be an absolute monster. Closely watching PayPal here. Arm to the moon, says Karem. Thanks for going over ARM. Yeah, of course. Honestly, best earning stream on YouTube. Oh, appreciate you. Appreciate you. I feel like I'm the only one. But I appreciate you nevertheless. 200 watching. Yeah, we got 220 of you guys hanging out. If you wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up, I certainly would appreciate it. What's my prediction for PayPal? I think that PayPal does well. There's I hate saying or I try to refrain as much as I can from, it can't get much worse because of course it always can. But like I said, I think that we're getting to a point, and we have been for some time on PayPal, getting to a point to where it makes no sense for it to be down here. It really doesn't. And with it trading at 12 times next year's earnings, that's far below the S&P 500 average, and they're continuing to grow. If they come in and meet earnings, which I expect them to do, that represents 10% growth year on year for a company that's been around for 20 plus years. That's still really good. Um, PayPal's not a value stock, and I think they're going to be just fine. If y'all are worried about PayPal, I just wouldn't be. I'm not saying that there isn't risk involved trading them on earnings, but to me, I think they're going to be just fine. Still waiting on them to start moving. So we'll come back to that. Let's take a look and see if there's any movement on Disney. Looks like there's something, but not a whole lot. Just kind of some low volume there. Let's check out ARM. ARM has popped. ARM is going bananas here. It's up now 15%. Holy shit balls. Let's check out and see what the hell's going on with ARM. Damn, what a move. Let's see here. They came in $1.20. Sorry, their guidance is $1.20 to $1.24. Excuse me. The expectation there was $1.05. No wonder it's up 15%. Jesus Christ. So they came in actual earnings per share 29 cents versus 25 that was expected. Sales came in at $824 million and they smashed that number. The expectation there was at 761. They again, as I'd mentioned, guidance also well above expectations on guidance for the current quarter and for 2024. So again, just to reiterate, they see adjusted earnings per share $1.20 to $1.24. The expectation was $1.05. Ridiculous number there. They see fiscal year revenue 3.16 to $3.21 billion. The expectation there was at 2.96. So all good things for ARM, and it's being rewarded. Just flew off the screen as well as far as the chart goes. We're looking at the 5-minute chart. So I always like to look at the 5-minute chart just to kind of show you guys what I'm looking at here. What a crazy move for ARM. Let's go ahead and move this over to the side. We can continue to keep track of ARM, but I also want to pull up PayPal so we can watch both of them at the same time. Oh, nope. Let's do this. Go back to ARM. There we go. And PayPal. Boom. Not much moving on PayPal just yet. It's up around 0.5%, but really no movement on that. ARM is just absolutely skyrocketing. It's up now 20% after hours. Congrats to those of you who are in ARM. Good Lord. Continues to get crushed. Or continues to crush it, I should say. Unbelievable. Karem, I will try my best. Don Fran says I'm bullish on this whole space, but some of these moves just have me on edge. Bro, that's exactly where I'm at. And that's kind of what I was talking about with Nvidia last night. We were talking about that, and as well as Palantir earlier this week, right? So like it's just one of those things where it you don't believe that there is an AI bubble yet, or that we're even at anywhere near the peak of an AI bubble, but it's starting to feel like that the way that a lot of these stocks move. So it's definitely a bit unnerving. So nothing on PayPal just yet. Let's take a look at Disney, see if there's any sort of movement there. It looks like there is. So Disney is up 4%. Here's your move here. So on the right side of the screen, going to pull up those numbers for you in just a moment. Okay. Let's see. I got them. Just want to read over them real quick. Make sure I got my head on straight here. Looks like they came in $1.22, beat by 18 cents, and then revenue came in at 23.5 billion. They did miss on revenue by about a quarter of $1 billion. That is Disney. Waiting to see on guidance numbers, because miss on revenue doesn't always bring on some sort of positive move. So it's got to be something here on guidance as to why it's up. My guess is probably an increase in Disney Plus subscribers. That's usually what influences Disney as of late. We've seen that with Netflix and some other companies related to streaming. So that could be what's it. But yeah, it came in at $1.22 versus 99 cents. That was expected. Revenue came in at 23.5 billion versus 23.64. So again, as I mentioned, a miss. Disney direct to consumer unit reported a $138 million operating loss in the quarter, including the performance at ESPN Plus. Losses for all of its streaming businesses narrowed to 260 million from 105. Well, sorry, 260 million from 1.05 billion in the prior period. That's actually pretty incredible. So streaming losses narrowed by $750 million. Actually, more than that, more than 300 quarters. That's actually really, really good. Let's take a look at some other numbers that might have come out that I might be missing here. As I'd mentioned, they came in and beat earnings per share, missed on revenue though. Guidance, they see the fiscal year 2024 $4.60 versus 4.27 that was expected. So another reason why the stock's moving up is because that beat on expectations for guidance. They boost their cash dividend 50% and target a $3 billion buyback as well. So yeah, Disney doing all right. They're up 5.25. By the way, taking a look at the left side of my screen here, we're looking at ARM. This big giant boner candle is from ARM Holdings, and it is up 25%, continuing to absolutely go bananas. I mean, that is insane. Hit the like button, guys. If you guys are new to the channel, hit the subscribe as well. I go live every day, 3:45 p.m. Eastern time to cover earnings. So if this is your first time seeing earnings coverage from yours truly and you want to see more of this, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell. Tomorrow we have a lot more earnings as well, which I am super pumped about. If you guys haven't checked it out on what the expectations are for tomorrow, there is a firm, Pinterest, Cloudflare, Expedia, Bill.com, Take-Two. So another big day tomorrow as well. You're not going to want to miss it. And I cover all of earnings season, folks. So we got more coming for you. We also have Don from the Don Fran Show. If you're interested in learning how to trade options and going deeper into shorter term trades, if you're curious about what these zones are on my screen, that is all Don Fran from the Don Fran Show, who's come over now to live here over at the Power Zone. We're working together. We merged, and it is a beautiful thing. So you're not going to want to miss all the content that's going to be coming out of this channel. So make sure you're doing that. That being said, ARM is still just an absolute monster here, just crushing it, man. Let's turn our attention away from ARM for just a moment. I want to check back in on PayPal, and that looks to be moving a little bit, but not much. Let me see if those earnings are out here on PayPal real quick. Nothing yet that I'm seeing. Doesn't mean they're not out. Let's see here. Looks like we're going to be coming out maybe around 4:15. If you guys weren't privy to what the expectations were on PayPal, they're expected to come in at $1.36, 11 upward revisions to 6 down. So the street's a little bit more bullish on PayPal. Revenue is expected to come in at $7.87 billion. I kind of talked at the top of the show when I first brought in PayPal to speak on. I thought that this one was actually going to do really well. I just think that the risk reward is just so much better than it ever was. Really, probably in the existence of the stock itself. I do believe that. I think that there's a lot to like on on PayPal in general. So we're just going to continue to watch this. I wanted to actually just give me one moment. Okay, there we go. PayPal's starting to look like it. Maybe it's moving. It is now up just a little bit here. Nothing too crazy just yet. There we go. I wanted to get Disney up on the 5-minute chart too. So there you have it. Next, so you got Disney on the right hand side, popping up out of the zone. Then you have PayPal here, also looking like it's trying to get some movement. But we got about maybe 2 minutes before we hear earnings from them. If you guys aren't here for PayPal, but maybe you're here for something else, we will be covering that as well. Don't know 443. Yeah, Pinterest is going to be tomorrow, so make sure that you're tuning in for that. Andrew Choi says PayPal going to 75. Just Joe's says I missed all the runs. It seems like AI is taking over trading. That's for sure, my man. That is not news. But you didn't miss out, I don't think. I don't think you missed out on it at all. I think that we're still very much in the early stages of anything AI related. Did you get in on the ground floor? Probably not, but that doesn't mean that you still can't make money here off of these AI type plays. So, I mean, ARM's just the latest example, but there's so much more to go in AI, in my opinion. And ask anybody who's done extensive research in this space. Don Fran being one of those. A couple other folks that actually watch this channel have done some pretty deep dives on AI, and it's pretty crazy stuff. But no, I don't think we're anywhere near the end of this or the peak, I should say. All right, so we got a little bit before PayPal starts moving. Somebody did ask me about McKesson, so I wanted to cover that as well. That stock is down about 1.5%. Man, I used to trade McKesson, gosh, when I first started trading. And this is back in like 2013. I used to love trading McKesson. They came out, beat expectations, $7.74 versus the 705 that was expected. Revenue came in at 80.9. We'll just call it $81 billion, beating expectations there of 77.86 billion as well. God damn, this company continues to just be an absolute cash cow. Consolidated revenue of $81 billion, increase of 15% year on year. As I mentioned, they crushed earnings per share. They delivered another solid quarter of earnings results. Don't know why the stock's really down. I probably wouldn't worry about it too much if I were you. If you're looking at McKesson as a long-term investment, I would probably hold off. Look at PayPal though. Here is PayPal, and what a boner candle. Stock is up 9.25%. Still, I mean, and still climbing here. Holy shit. Let me get those numbers for you. Here I was dicking around on McKesson. Okay. Earnings per share $1.29. Adjusted earnings per share $1.48. Adjusted earnings per share $1.48 versus $1.36. So they beat earnings there. Revenue came in at $8 billion versus $7.8 billion that was expected. My God, stock's now coming back off of that initial reaction, but man, it was up around 10%. Now, giving back a lot of those gains, it's selling off quite quickly here. Is it going to go red on me? Holy shit. What a crazy move. Oh my God. This is why we watch earnings. Holy shit. What is happening to PayPal right now? Oh my God. No way. Watch this go right back to green. Don't freak out yet. It's down 3.5% after it was just up 10. Oh my God. Wow. What just happened? Seeing a couple of other numbers here, they see Q1 net revenue to grow about 6.5% and 7% foreign currency neutral basis. Guidance doesn't look bad here. Not quite sure why there's the sell off. I will find this out, folks. Just haven't quite seen it yet. But they did come in and beat earnings. They came in with net revenue 8.03 billion versus the 7.87 that was expected. Total payment volume 409.83 billion. God damn, that is such a ridiculous number. The estimate was 403.6, so they crushed that expectation as well. Came in at $1.48. The expectation was $1.36 on earnings per share. I don't understand why the reason for the sell off. It's still selling off. It's now down 5.5. What the fuck? The Husker, yeah, no kidding. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. So last time around, their revenue growth year over year was 7.67%, which for PayPal is good. I mean, given how huge they are, that's not a bad number. Be curious, and I have to do the math here. That is crazy reaction here off of PayPal, and this is why we do it, folks. This is why we do it for wild moves like this. Guidance there expected to come in flat. Maybe that's what people are worried about. Guidance numbers here $5.10 versus the $5.10 estimate. Maybe there was some sort of expectation on a beat on that. My goodness. It jumped all the way up to $70 a share and is now sitting at 60. What a crazy move. Who bought the top of PayPal? Yeah, nobody I want to be. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And look, there's other earnings that we're going to cover, and I promise we will. But this has got to be the shocker of the afternoon. So if you guys didn't catch the actual numbers, PayPal came in and they actually beat earnings. Trying to figure out exactly what the sell off is for. My initial thoughts are that it could be because they came in line on guidance, but that's a bit crazy to me. And the revenue growth is actually more than it was reported on the last quarter. So 7.67% was the year-on-year growth. They came in this quarter that they're reporting on 8.1 year over year. That's actually good. I don't know why anybody would think that's not good, because it is. They beat on that too. So they came in at $1.48, beat expectations on earnings per share by 12 cents. Revenue came in at $8 billion. That's also a beat. Again, year-on-year growth of 8.1%. They beat that expectation by 130 million. Transaction margins, dollars of 3.7 billion, flat on the year on year. Q4 23 total payment volume increased 15%, also good. 23 payment Q4 2023 payment per transactions of 13% to 6.8 billion, and payment transactions increased 12% to 25 billion for that quarter, for the entire year, I should say. 12% increase on transactions for the entire year was at 25 billion. Payment transactions per active account in a trailing 12-month basis increased 14% to 58.7. Active accounts, that might be the catalyst that brought it down. Active accounts decreased 2%, 426 million. So people are spending the numbers that are there, the people that are there are spending more money and transacting more, but the actual active accounts have decreased. That could be what spooked people. Could be. That's crazy. It's crazy to see that the stock was up 10% and then just got beat the fuck down. That's crazy. But I think that that's what it is. I think it's the loss of active accounts. as we all know, right? Whenever we're reacting to earnings, we always talk about these types of tech stocks that rely on subscriber counts, that rely on daily active users or active accounts. And if PayPal is losing active accounts, that's going to to create reactions such as this. So the initial reaction was people were super pumped because we saw increase in revenue growth, we saw increase in um, profitability, but then the active accounts dropped by 2%, and that's I think what spooked people. Um, Brad fat fingered sold at the top. That's why I dropped. You know it, bro. Z Rider bought shares at $61. So let's take a look at that. What does this matter to you? Why do you care? So, and Z Rider, I don't think that's actually a bad call. See at the top of the zone, PayPal did come in and get and started we started to see buyers come right back in at the top of the zone at $59.35. And you can see where it's going right now. It's actually starting to claw its way back here to the upside. We come back out here to the daily chart. Again, PayPal's here on the left side of your screen. We got McKesson on this side. And actually, you know what? Let's go tune back into Disney on that chart there. So Disney's having a hell of an afternoon too. We'll get back to that. But you can see that it's trading at PayPal, I mean, trading at about $62, 61.95, and the buyers are still coming back in here. So that would be at the bottom of this zone at $64. So if it gets back up to 64, gets back in the zone, could be a nice little trade. Could be. But it actually, so on the daily chart, again, that's why you're not seeing any real time movement because I had the daily pulled up. But PayPal came down to the top of this zone here around 59, almost to the cent of 59.35, and then bounced. Had a hell of a bounce, and it looks like the momentum's continuing here. We'll see what it does at 64, but and we'll come back to the 5 minute. But it is starting to get buyers back here. That would be the short term trade. You're looking to make a day trade on this. Watch this $59 mark. Pretty decent move that it's had off the top of that zone. Looking to try to make another move here to 64. But damn, what a spot there for it. Disney's doing well, says Millionaire D. Yeah, so let's turn our attention to Disney here because they also had earnings as well. We'll get some other ones. ARM was the big winner of the day. Just an absolute monster move from ARM, and we'll get back to that as well. But yes, Disney ended up having a great day today too. It's up 7% in after hours trading on some really great earnings numbers. And we talked about this. Disney had gotten a lot of hate over the last. Well, it always gets hate, but from a business standpoint, it's done quite well. They came in, beat earnings by 18 cents, coming at $1.22, $23.5 billion. They did miss on expectations for revenue, but as we all know, guidance is everything. Based on the strength in the first quarter, this is according to Disney, uh, as well as our expectations for the balance of the year, we expect full year fiscal 2024 earnings per share, to excluding certain items, to increase by at least 20% versus 2023 to approximately $4.60. That is a steady beat compared to what the expectations were. Further, we continue to expect free cash flow generation in fiscal year 2024 to roughly $8 billion. Also a beat on that. Hulu subscribers, and this is what probably influenced Disney stock the most. Hulu subscribers increased by 1.2 million from the prior quarter. Disney Plus core subscribers decreased sequentially by 1.3 million, in line with prior guidance and reflecting a substantial price increase in the quarter, as well as the global summer promotion. Disney Plus core annual revenue per user increased sequentially by 14 cents, so increased 14 cents per user versus the fourth quarter. They expect Disney Plus core subscriber net additions between 5.5 and 6 million, and ongoing positive momentum in annual revenue per user in the second quarter. Also, I think I saw they announced a $3 billion buyback. So that's going to create some positive momentum for Disney as well. Yes, thank you, Jason. They also boosted dividends by 50%. And Nathaniel says their plan was to get rid of less profitable aspects, so they anticipated less accounts, but to get more money from the users they keep, and that's what we're seeing from. And talking about PayPal, that's what we're seeing. And I did mention that that they're getting their current active accounts to spend more money and transact more with them, but they are losing accounts, and that could be why we saw that drop off. Not ready to confirm that that's the reason why, but it wouldn't surprise me if that's what it was. Nobody uses PayPal anymore, says Karim. I don't know if I would go that far. Have you not seen the numbers that they brought in? Holy shit. $400 million, $400 billion in transactions. That's not nobody. That's not nobody at all. All right. Marcus says PayPal is going green tomorrow. It could potentially do that. And as we talked about, getting over that $64 mark in that top the bottom of this zone here. If you see it on the left side, that's this yellow box here. The top that's that zone. We get above that resistance. Excuse me, at 64 could be a good spot for it. Where it's sitting right now, not enticing me to take any sort of type of entry. I would wait till it gets either down here to 59 and we see some sort of bounce like we saw initially, which is a pretty incredible bounce that it had in that first 5 minutes since the release. And then, so that's what, I would start to look to buy here if it held this support. If it doesn't, and then continues to go up here and break through this resistance, then I would continue. Then I would take another look here if it gets up into this zone. But keep an eye on it here. This is kind of in no man's land, not really where I would touch it, where it's trading at 60, 61, 67 currently. But yeah, that's PayPal, guys. ARM went bananas. It's up 22.5% on, and they crushed earnings. If you guys didn't catch those numbers, I will go ahead and give those to you as well. But all good things AI related for this one. They came in and crushed earnings. They came in at 29 cents. They beat that by 4 cents. It came in 824 million, beat expectations there by 61 million. That's a 13.8% increase year on year. The guidance is really where they crushed it. And so the guidance numbers is where what's really influencing this stock, excuse me, the most. And it's probably going to continue to go up from here. So we go on the daily. It's trading all the way up at $94 a share. So this is a daily where it closed out at 77. If it holds these gains going into tomorrow, it's going to gap up all the way up here. Where you see my cursor at $94 if it doesn't change right here. So Don from the Don Fran show, looks like he had a trade on this. If you guys are looking to learn more from him on how to make trades such as ARM, make sure you're tuning in Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursday nights. He's going to be back Thursday night. What an absolute monster ARM has been. Make sure you guys are tuning in. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Also, we'll be reacting to more earnings tomorrow. And yeah, I mean, just some pretty crazy moves. So Wynn Resorts, somebody asked me about as well. Wynn is actually up. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. You can see a pretty decent move there. Obviously, those numbers are out. And I think that we're going to continue to see this from gaming. We saw this from some of the other ones that have reported already. Las Vegas Sands comes to mind just because I remember covering that one. And the Macau revenue is really what's doing really well for gaming. They came in at $1.91, beat by 75 cents. That's a huge beat on earnings per share. Revenue, they also beat by $100 million. They came in at $1.84 billion on revenue. That is, I'm reading this right. Revenue of $1.84 billion. And this has everything to do with China. But that's an 84% increase year on year on revenue for Wynn Resorts. That is wild. Just looking at the daily chart on Wynn. Gambling stocks are back, baby. They are back. we go and just look at the yearly performance on Wynn, it's down on over the last 52 weeks, 3.5%. Since the beginning of the year, it's up 9.5. Obviously, this puts it up even more. Gaming stocks are back, and I think that there's definitely a lot to be excited about for a stock like Wynn, for MGM, for Caesars. They're all going to continue. All those companies that were reliant on the Macau revenue, on the comeback there, they're all going to continue to do well. And we're obviously seeing that with Wynn. Doesn't look like that's stopping anytime soon. So Wynn Resorts also had a great day. If you don't drink Jack, you're an ass. Yeah, for sure. See you, Lord Fenrir. Good to have you on the show today. Appreciate you tuning in, my man. As always good to see you hanging in. All right. I think we covered them all, guys. I think we covered them all. Let me just double check. But man, if you guys were pumped about today, you want to see more, make sure you're coming back tomorrow. Tomorrow's earnings, we got Affirm. We have Pinterest, Cloudflare. I know a lot of you guys follow Cloudflare. That stock is, I mean, cybersecurity has just been absolutely insane as well, and that's not going to stop anytime soon. But we also have Expedia, Bill.com, Take-Two. We covered all the ones today, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we covered them all. We got McKesson, we got ARM, we got Disney, PayPal, Wynn Resorts. If you guys feel like you missed out on something, make sure you you just go back and watch it because we covered it all. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. You guys are absolutely amazing. We are building something actually even bigger than what we've got right now. Don and I have been behind the scenes. It's taken us a long time to get there, but I feel like we're getting across the finish line. So please be patient with us. But Don's got an entire coaching program that he's been building, and I think it's going to be absolutely insane. People aren't going to be, they're going to be shocked as far as what we have going on and what you guys can do with Don, because the guy's certified genius. So I'm super pumped for this, and it's really going to get us back on track. You guys know that there's been quite of a lull here over on what was formerly known as Own the Chaos. It's now known as the Power Zone. Ever since Fat Man Zoom passed away, it's kind of been a bit tough, but I'm feeling good, feeling motivated, feeling getting back. I feel like I'm back in the swing of things, and I've been more consistent and kind of just like getting over that hump has been tough, but feel really good about it. So you guys are great. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out the door, and can't wait to see you tomorrow. Have yourself a great night. And yeah, that's it. Have a great night. See ya.